Oh wow, hello. Did I
Did you?
did I just see
Did,
you publishing a YouTube video?
yes.
So so you're scheduled for these late nights. Um is like publish the video and then start recording the podcast.
It is a bit of a torment for you because now, if we didn't record, you could watch it right away, and now you will have to wait for an hour. Well, everybody else is on the bandwagon talking about it, spoiling it in the comment section, in other YouTube videos, on Internet Movie Database, and so on.
First of all, B, I'm not a fangirl. Of all, the only
Not,
reason I've seen this is because I was holding my tablet and I saw a push notification from YouTube. Because I actually subscribed to your channel with a push notification, which is it's cool, but it's
uh,
still not fangirl status, dude. You know the reason why I did
it's
that. The
not.
reason why I did that is you recently you started those premieres for your main
Yeah,
video channel, and I love those because
yeah.
I've seen some very interesting comments from people who would tune in, and I
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and actually I still tune into them. I think on a regular basis when when I'm available because it's such a cool feature like YouTube thumbs up.
Oh yeah, I mean it is so fun. I mean, for me as a creator at least, because you get everyone hyped up. You get to to chance to actually chat with your audience on YouTube. You know, you don't have to make Discord or anything. You just talk with them. But there's a sort of exclusivity. Have you heard of the app? Uh, I think it's called "Come Die with Me."
Yeah, it sounds familiar. Is it like a social network kind of thing?
Okay, okay. It is a chat room, but you can only access it if your phone is on 5% of battery. uh,
That's a good one.
oh yeah, I think it's very original. The first time I actually heard of it was when Jen and Julian were discussing it in their own podcast. And what I liked about it is it's similar to Premiere. You know, you can chat with people before the premiere, during the premiere, and some 5 minutes after the premiere.
And it's
After
gone.
that,
It's gone.
it's gone forever. And I think that even the records are gone as well. So there's that sense of impermanence. You know, it's gone, it's there, and gone in the next moment.
Yeah, I gotta say something about your community.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty positive, especially when compared to the rest of YouTube in general. Like there's a lot of hate on YouTube, and
And do you know? And who do we have to thank for that?
uh, well, you tell me yours, I'll tell you mine.
Ban feature. You have to remove Chef immediately before a whole freaking maleficent forest of thorns bursts out. You know.
Yeah, I know. Look, things are not perfect. They never will be.
Of
What I
course.
like about your community in particular, it seems like there's people with very diverse backgrounds, very diverse. They even subscribe to different Christian ideologies, I might say, and
Oh yeah.
it's very very interesting how people can actually have healthy conversation. There's always people who are very like. Uh, I'm doing this the right way. Everybody else just sucks. But and you can see that in their comments and in the way they kind of attack others who don't agree.
Yeah.
But this is just people, and I think it's such a small percentage of people who actually comment on your videos. So kudos for that as well.
Oh,
But
by the way, I don't know if you actually caught it in the chat about the new series that they plan on the channel.
I think I was actually late. It was late, man,
Ah,
and
okay.
I did not remember a single thing. And the only reason I tune into these things are the chat. But also let me be very honest. Anything
Yeah,
anybody would ever post about Saint Seraphim of Sarov is something I would
yeah.
tune in immediately if I have the chance, because I
By the
I
way, uh,
adore Saint
mhm.
Seraphim of Sarov. It's a,
Everybody
of
does.
course,
Everybody does. He's like everybody's favorite saint.
yeah.
He's like,
I think we're
you
I
know,
think we're repeating ourselves. I think we already said this in one of our previous podcasts. Just so you know,
we can never,
you know
we can never say it enough. We can never say it enough.
that's also true. That's also true. I'm just looking at an icon of Saint Seraphim, like just now, and I placed the icon like right next to the Theotokos icon, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
such a perfect combination. But anyways,
It's a match made in
yeah,
heaven.
exactly.
By the way, two things. Two things. First of all, I also have an icon of Saint Seraphim. Well, actually, two. One is a painted rock, and the other is simply a cardboard icon that came in with a book that contained his life from Obraz Svetački, the big fat books.
Yeah,
That's one. Second, somebody suggested it in the comment, and I will make it a video on his prayer rule to the Most Holy Mother of God.
mm,
The one with a lot of "Oh, rejoice, Virgin
yeah,
Theotokos" that you say over and over again.
yeah,
That one.
yeah.
So you will have there are at least two videos planned on Saint Seraphim.
Perfect.
One is one is the reliquary, his life. The other is that, and they'll probably make even a third video, about some of his teachings. And what last announcement. I'm really curious about your take on this. I plan to make a video on the main channel, um, the video on Serbian mythology. You know,
Oh
uh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember now. Yeah, yeah. I do remember.
yeah.
I remember people saying so. Oh yeah, like you know, Slavic mythology rocks or something like that.
Oh yeah. Be prepared. The hosts of dead unbaptized children are coming your
Yeah,
way.
but in order to prevent that, you have to like bury the child, the child below
Under the door. Yep.
yeah, like oh my god. Look, we need to have a podcast about this. Like we absolutely have to, and there's so much to talk about
Oh yeah.
there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But today or tonight, whatever time zone you're in, we're talking about
Yeah.
something both B and myself have been struggling with for some time now. It's gonna be it's
Yes.
gonna be it's gonna be around maybe 5 years for me
Yeah.
in continuity, and
Yeah.
God knows how many years, on and off. And I'm betting that ever since B started doing creative work and actually publishing it online, he
Yes.
has also become a slave to his choices. and and now he has a severe lack of sleep.
Yeah, I actually made a reference to it because I mentioned Maleficent in the beginning. Because Sleeping Beauty is one of the fictional characters that I envy the most.
Oh,
She's
interesting.
beautiful and she sleeps all the time. In the original fairy tale, for 100 years.
Yeah, well, it's
He-
like as long as somebody eventually wakes her up, you know. But otherwise, like just sleep forever. That sounds bad. Uh,
no.
un, un, unless there was I can't really remember what TV show it was, but I'm gonna go with Scrubs, for example, because the
Okay.
setting was in a hospital, and there was this person.
Okay.
It could have been Doctor House, but I don't think so because it's a ridiculous TV show. Super fun.
A hospital show. Let's call it a hospital
I
show.
think it was Scrubs. Scrubs was super fun. But anyways, we'll talk about
Okay.
that another time. And this guy was like, he just wanted to sleep all the time because like he had this. Well, it's on TV, so don't believe the quote unquote science behind. But he had this like chemical imbalance thing, blah blah blah, and he would dream an entire alternative life. Um,
Oh wow.
and he would like rush to just fall asleep because in his dreams he had a wife and two kids. Like really, like, and I remember this very profoundly because it's so fun, as a concept. It's such a good concept.
Oh yeah.
If I had the time and obviously more skill, I might even like sit down and write a book, like a fiction book, on something like this.
Go for it. Go for it. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it. Why not?
like look, that's exactly the same thing I tell everybody, whoever says I want to write a book. But the reality is, um, it's I'm still not there. Anyways, hashtag no sleep is the topic right now. Um,
Oh yeah.
and by the way, B, when are you doing tours?
Tours.
You tour Europe or United States and meet your patrons and people from your community, because that's the best way for you to absolutely lose all sleep. Because right now,
Oh yeah.
right now I know you're at like I'm pretty sure you're hitting the 60% of
Okay.
necessary slumber. Pretty sure
Oh yeah.
you're hitting at least 60%. And because I know that because I'm hitting around 60%.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of comparing. We are obviously spending our time on different things, but it's the same. So when are you doing tours?
I don't know. When I reach 1 million subscribers,
Uh,
long way to go.
you know the Dave 405 on YouTube. You know who that is?
No,
He's like
does he not sleep as well?
no, he's like this bassist. Like he plays bass, and he has
Okay.
4 million subscribers because he's actually pretty creative and super fun. And he's like he has this like reveals, right? So his
Okay.
last reveal was his Italian voice because he never spoke Italian on
Okay.
his channel until he reached 4 million subscribers. I think his next is like laughter reveal because he also never
Okay.
displays any emotion in videos. Like it's so
Okay.
profound. They never like there's like a bunch of memes with like a
Mm-hmm.
grid of his photos where he's just his himself with like zero
Mm-hmm.
emotion, and there's like the name of each emotion below, like, and you figure that
Ah.
it's the same, like his when he's mad it's the
Yeah.
same when he's sad, blah blah blah. So you could do like a reveal, for example, since you're doing Bible illustrated hands, you could like
Yeah.
you could show your knee or something.
Uh, actually, yeah. My community on the other channel constantly, makes references to it, like Bible illustrated feet, Bible illustrated face, Bible illustrated eyes,
Well, that
and so far the rule 34 did not apply.
I'll tell you this. Like I'll tell you this. This is why you are a bad YouTuber. You're a good
Yeah.
content creator, but you suck as a YouTuber because every single YouTuber calls people to share, like, subscribe, hit that bell button, hit that subscribe button, do this, do that. Like the Dave 504, like if you count the number of times he says slap like, um, or smash like or whatever, you know, that,
Okay.
and you never do that, right?
I do it on occasion. I do it on
Nah,
occasion. I
no,
did it.
no, no.
I did in differences between Catholics and Orthodox. I did it there.
It was a controversial.
There you
It
go.
was a controversial topic,
There
and you probably thought
case for you.
you probably thought it's a controversial topic. I'm gonna. That's where I should ask for more likes and engagement. No,
Actually,
no.
actually, it was a move of providence that I said it specifically there because that is my most watched video.
It was
On
a
the other
it was
hand,
a
if
move
I
of
told it,
providence. Sorry, but it was a move of providence, which the
of
the, the
course,
beginning the,
everything.
the beginning of so many wars. Like seriously.
No, no, no. I don't mean the video topic. I mean just how popular it became. Nothing
Yeah,
else.
yeah, sure, sure, sure. Move of providence. Uh,
Yeah, we all know what God does essentially is fine tuning YouTube videos and
and please God, can you fix their algorithm? But uh, can you?
God said, God said, I'm not that all powerful.
Yeah, YouTube algorithm is the rock that God created and will not move. Um,
Oh yeah.
but
At least Google created it.
yeah, Google claims
Actually,
they've reached quantum supremacy, in supremacy in quantum computing.
yeah.
But anyways, that's a topic for another time. I want to go back. I want to go back to sleep.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, like seriously, pun intended, man. Because let's be realistic. Like you and I, when we record, we record.
Yeah,
Our earliest is 10 p.m. And
yeah.
recently we began pushing towards 11 p.m. And now we started like 11:15. And like what I like about what we do, not only because we enjoy talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
But I like the fact that you know we get to do what we want to do,
Yeah.
and it's a
Except sleeping. Except sleeping.
except sleeping. That's a conscious, it's a conscious sacrifice, right?
Decision. Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 by choice. So I hate when I sacrifice sleep for watching YouTube. That's what I hate.
Oh yeah.
I hate when sacrificing sleep for watching a movie, which I could have watched tomorrow. You know, I mean
I
the
think I
day after.
mentioned.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I think I talked about this in one of our previous episodes, but because I don't remember it, neither will the audience. So who cares? Uh, do you know why that is?
What exactly?
Why do you watch like YouTube until late in the night? Why do you watch movie that you could watch during the day? Do you know why that is?
I don't know. Is it a spiritual thing?
No, it's basic
Oh, thank goodness.
psychology. Yeah, you know I know nothing about spirituality. Anyway, the thing is, uh, let, I'll share from my point of view. I have very difficult time forcing myself to go to bed at night, regardless how sleepy I am. However, when I come back home from work, I must have my nap. I must have my beauty sleep. I need that nap. I will kill if I don't have that nap. I'm at my worst if I'm nap deprived. You don't want to see me when I'm nap deprived. Like uh, like uh, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Well, this is Bible illustrated and Quran calligraphed.
Yeah.
You don't want to meet me when I'm at my Quran calligraphed. I'm a monster. I will be petty, angry, and while I may control myself not to say anything nasty, there will be a cauldron of bubbling nasty in my mind. Anyway, why this is? Okay, when I go to nap and I wake up, I get to do what I want. I get to draw, to record this podcast, to see people I like, to go to gym, all of that good stuff that I like. However, when I go to sleep, what waits for me in the morning? Getting up early, running to the tramway, going to work, doing some things that, while maybe useful to society in general, are not very particularly interesting to me. And that is a general experience. The all majority of us does some job that we don't particularly like, and that is fine. Like the absolute majority of entire humanity did things that they didn't particularly like. Work was something that gets you bread on the table. That's all there is to it. I mean, I'm sure that there were cavemen that wanted to be opera singers, but you had to hunt down that mammoth, that woolly mammoth, otherwise you will starve. So
Oh,
when I heard that,
I hate those references.
yeah. Uh, so anyway, I heard this in the Ascension Presents channel, which is this Catholic priest who gives some, advice. His crew has kind of expanded over time, but when I heard this, I was like, oh wow, this is completely true. This is this has resolved my eternal question: why can't I just go to sleep at some normal hours? It is always wee hours, you know. So
Yeah,
there we are.
yeah, I know, man. I know. I mean, you kind of took the long road of explaining why we do that, but I think
Okay.
it boils down to something much more simpler than that, which is, man, we just want to live the life, you know.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even sure, like between you and me and the audience, I'm not even sure if I support or love or hate people who just make sure they get a good night's sleep, and they would sacrifice other things to make sure they get a good night's sleep. Um, because
Sleep is easy to sacrifice.
no, well, that's the point. I'm on one hand, right? My position would be something like this. Okay, I'm a creative person, right? And I have so many different affinities towards different things. I'm interested in different things. So I don't have, the number of wake hours in a day is not enough for me. So I'm constantly stealing from sleep so that I can
Yeah.
achieve more, right? But
Yeah.
on the other hand, I know that there are physical consequences of this, and God even knows if I'm actually living more, because I might be stealing from my own life by not sleeping. So are these guys who don't do that, are they not creative? Which is obviously my first thought, because I'm so cool and everybody else sucks. Classic like ego trip. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, they simply might be wiser than I am and doing things
Precisely.
better than I am doing them. And to make things much more worse, so many times, instead of reading a good book, I would spend that precious stolen time
Yeah.
watching stupid YouTube videos or reading stupid articles and absolutely not getting any value from them, and and
Oh, precisely.
like 0.1 in satisfaction.
Well, we all need our junk food.
Yeah, well,
Me more than you have literal junk food. But we all get our junk somewhere else. There is this great expression in Serbian that I mean, I can easily translate it in English, but it goes, we all need to let our brain go to the pasture, to do something silly, brainless, simply to unwind, and that is why you don't read the book. When you read the book, your brain actually works. When you watch a silly YouTube video, it doesn't. Actually, they have determined that your brain has more activity watching a blank wall than watching television. Why? Because then brain is bored and brain actually does things to keep you entertained.
sorry,
However,
sorry, I have to stop you right there.
feel
You
free.
said, quote unquote, they have determined, and I just want to throw something. I
Yes.
just want to throw something at you, but I can't because we're like 10 miles apart or something right now. Um, who has determined that?
Well, people on the internet, of course. Anyway,
Okay.
so uh,
Thank you for thank you so much for clarifying. Thank you
but
for telling me something I didn't know before. Thank you, because that I'm gonna spend my entire life, uh, you know, thinking about that.
okay,
They have determined. They have
I have
determined.
just checked. It is a self-research, The Power of Sleep, page 246.
No, it's not. But good, but but good one. Yeah, this is what lack of sleep does to people. They become bastards.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, especially me.
No. I wasn't referring to you, or was I?
I'm just admitting my, weakness in character.
No. You're fine unless you did not get your beauty sleep.
Well, I think we should start referring it to my fat sleep because I'm not getting any prettier, but flattering,
No, I like that fat sleep. I love
Fat.
that. Look. You said it now, and that's how I'm gonna be referring to it, like, forever.
Oh yeah,
Did you get
feel
Did
free.
you get your fat sleep today, B?
Well, clearly I did. Slaps belly.
Are you still doing that fat sleep thing?
Ah man.
How's fat sleeping going for you?
Well, it's enormous.
Okay. Do you think I
Oh,
overdid it? I overdid it. Okay. You feel bad, and I feel bad now, and I shouldn't
oh
feel
no,
bad.
no.
I'm stealing this time from sleep. I shouldn't feel bad. I want to feel good, right? Can I watch a YouTube video?
Well, let me see. I think it is 2 minutes long, so technically you can. I mean, I can. I actually, you could have simply let me go on a rant about something, and then you could have literally watched a couple.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if I want to rant about the recent development in the Greek Orthodox Church. That's
Well,
what that's one or two things I would be ranting about right now. One being something I've already ranted about, which is law changes in Serbia. but these two things. So let's not rant,
stop emphasizing that.
dude.
We need to talk about other things.
Dude, it's getting worse.
I
That's why
know.
it's haunting me, because I spend hours on a daily basis trying to do something about it. Stupid activism. Whoever forced me into that? But uh,
Well,
going back to,
you're doing a good cause. You're doing a good cause.
mm, I don't know if I am. That's always a good question. It's easy to say you're doing something for the right cause, but at the end of the day, just imagine how many people uh, thought they were doing something like that, and they were communists.
Okay, okay, listen to my special magical recipe. How you will be absolutely sure that whatever you do is completely okay. Are you ready?
Okay, should I take my tablet and pen?
No,
Okay,
it's easy.
okay.
Breathe in, breathe out, frown as hard as you can, and say, "How dare you!"
Hold on. You have to be more specific about the how dare you thing, because I get it.
How?
I get it. I'm taking the energy, right? I'm breathing. I'm breathing out. I'm breathing in. I'm taking the energy. I'm frowning
Okay,
because I'm channeling the energy. But then the execution is not clear to me. Am I supposed to be like bitchy? Am I supposed to be
very
like,
bitchy, very bitchy. Like imagine you're
oh,
giving.
Greta Thunberg bitchy?
Yeah.
Why didn't you say so, man? Why didn't you say? How dare you?
How dare you? Does not remind you of her. I don't know what does.
Yeah, like, seriously. Like, I don't envy that kid.
You don't?
No, no. Let's not rant about her. Well, let's just do a rant episode and just rant about freaking everything, except the laws in Serbia. It's enough. I know. I apologize.
No, no, you're fine. But a small rant regarding sleep. I think that this entire world and universe at large would be much better off if every company, private or state owned, would have an app room. People need this. I have a friend who was our guest on the show, and he works in a rented apartment, which is
He
empty.
works. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah,
He works in a. Oh, okay, okay.
rented apartment. I don't know what's so arcane about it, Em, but let me continue.
Okay.
So anyway, he works in a rented apartment where he has a couch. That apartment is empty for like 95 plus, uh, amount of time. And unless he's like talking with somebody on Skype or something, he can have a nap. I can't tell you just how much envy I have for this guy. I hate his
Oh,
guts.
I'm gonna have to disappoint you
Yeah.
because literally ever since I've started working, I've been napping on a regular basis at work.
How is this
Like,
going to disappoint me? Like you're a napper too?
no, because you can't nap at work. Admit it.
I can.
Okay, B. Confession time. Did you nap at work?
Yes.
How many times?
This isn't Catholic confession. I don't have to say just how many times I napped.
No, but I'm curious, man. For the sake of conversation.
Well, you know what's the biggest issue?
Oh,
Uh,
I've avoiding the answer. Okay, I know where this is going.
I'll tell you. The biggest issue with napping at work is that I can't fall asleep while seated, you know? And literally can't.
You can in Japan, but okay.
Okay. I think only, okay. Maybe I should not say this out loud, but here goes. Confession time.
Hey, man. First of all, nobody even listens to this podcast. But if you're really scared of somebody knowing, send it to me privately, and
I don't care. I don't care. Um,
I would have revealed it totally if you
okay,
if you send it to
listen
me.
to this. When I first got employed, I would have these extreme blood pressure drops after 2 p.m. Like I barely could keep my eyes open, and oftentimes I didn't. So,
Sorry, but I'm rolling my eyes because that was not blood pressure drop. That was you eating sugar, and then sugar having a peak in energy, and then having a serious fall. Just saying. Think about it.
but I'm not much of a sweet tooth, I don't eat much candy or something, Okay, maybe because of bread or
Yes,
carbs in general.
because it actually has the same effect.
Okay, okay, okay. Thanks for clarifying. So anyway,
Yep.
I would have a nap, but how would I do it? Because at work, my work desk was in front of a window directly opposed to the door. And you know how work desks have that panel under the work surface that
Yeah.
is, I think, supposed to conceal your legs?
Yes, exactly.
Well, legs isn't all things it can conceal. So what I would do, I would literally go under the table and make this fetal position and take a 10-minute nap. And if somebody came in, which never happened, I would have said that I disconnected the cable, some computer cable or something, and say, "Oh, sorry, I had."
Are you serious?
This isn't even as bad as what I'm about to say next.
Oh my god, this is a real freaking confession. Like, okay, you don't have to say how many times you did it. No, you don't.
Uh, I did under table naps like 2 times until I found something
Ah,
until I found something better.
Bathroom naps.
Yes.
I knew it.
Okay, because like you can lock yourself in, and these bathrooms were pristine clean, like
Yeah.
they were sparkling. You could eat off the floor, and there were like two segments, one with the toilet and the other one with the basin. And I would sleep in the wash basin, and we would have this roll of tissues, to wipe your hands. These were the perfect pillows.
Oh, so for you, this was on a regular basis.
No, no, no. It was this I did like maybe 3 or 4 times in 5 years.
Hmm.
I still stand by my claim that it is far better for me to have that 10-minute nap than to literally be completely paralyzed for 2 hours, for example.
No, no, I get it. I get it. And look, first of all, I'm gonna tell you an anecdote that's very much in line with what you just told me. And
But I
second of all,
cannot tell you my first one.
there's more.
There's one more. I
Okay,
only did
then.
this. I only did this once.
Okay, go
Okay,
ahead.
so this was also at my first workplace. You know, when I'm telling you these things, one has to wonder, how do I even keep my job? I mean, I'm not all that bad at what I do, but one has to wonder. So anyway, we had this important seminar, international seminar,
Okay,
and we had it. You will know what this is, in Aero Club, which
okay.
is this very fancy sort of Great Gatsby-like club in Belgrade. It has these huge halls, a huge dining room, and so on. It's very pretty, and it's used for, among other things, high-end weddings. So anyway, we had our seminar there, and at 12 p.m., sorry, 12 a.m., p.m., which one is noon? At
Who
noon,
cares? Yeah.
yeah, who cares? We had lunch. So I eat lunch, which was very good, so I didn't skip like anything. And what happens when you have a bit too much to eat?
Yeah, your insulin spikes, and then you have a
Yes.
peak in energy, and then it drops.
Uh, I had that, except peak in energy. So the seminar continues, and we were all sort of facing this huge projector sheet, however you call it.
Hmm.
However, our tables were sort of turned to each other. So what basically happened, that I sort of fell asleep in full view of all attendance.
Nice. Homer Simpson glasses in
Oh man,
church.
except without glasses.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Okay, and I'm telling you this just to praise my two previous supervisors, because I mean, if this isn't a clear manifestation of absolute Christian love from two people whom I don't know, I think aren't particularly religious. So next day, I'm working at my table, at my desk, and suddenly my supervisor passes my office. The doors are open, and she looks at me, like with an eyebrow, and I'm like, yes, and she's like, nothing, nothing, and she passes by, and I'm okay. This is strange. By the way, I must admit, I wasn't even aware that I fell asleep.
Oh, the worst one.
Oh yeah, the worst one. So my supervisor comes, and she's like, okay, let's have a lunch. Now this is very unusual, because I very rarely had lunch with her, and it wasn't like, oh, let's all go for a lunch. It was, let the two of us go for a lunch. And my coworker, who was with me in the office, she was like, oh, I'm going with you, and she's like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, oh god, I'm in trouble, and I realize what it's about. So I take a gulp, I breathe in, I breathe out. How dare you?
That's I knew it. I knew it.
We go to McDonald's, and she's like, Bucky, is everything okay? Is everything fine? And I'm like, yes, why? Well, yesterday you were like, you were sort of out of it. "Oh no, I'm so sorry. I was freelancing so much. I feel horrible. I had too much to eat. It was completely my fault." You know. However, yesterday at my office, I discovered a perfect spell, deflecto when, when you want to play somebody else. I
And
didn't I didn't use my powerful deflecto spell. I came completely clean. Yes, it was. I had too much to eat. I worked too much during the night, and as much as I thought that my salary at the time was insufficient for anything resembling a sane life, still that was my job, and I was supposed to do it well, not sleep at a seminar. Oh man,
yeah.
this this causes me uh, great shame to this day. However, it also caused a lot of joy to my coworkers, and uh, every so often one of them would send me like this video of this hamster that sort of falls asleep. It's the funniest thing, especially if you like are aware of the situation. Now, your anecdote.
But wait, you came clean, and when well, what did the supervisor say?
Oh no, she was. Oh no, I understand you. She was completely. I mean, she wasn't fine with the fact that I was, sleeping, but she was understanding, and thank God for her and the supervisor because that was literally the end of it, and also the end of my naps forever. Like never napped
Oh,
until you became my employer.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Then we destroyed those sleep. Uh, the
Also,
super, super, super attendant. What? No, super what?
Super Nintendo.
Anyways, first of all, let me say I fully support napping at work. Power naps are a God given gift for everybody who's capable of doing them. Okay,
Yeah.
not everybody can do it. And like Google it. Like seriously, it's a thing.
Oh yeah,
Eh,
I mean, uh, power naps are such a big thing to me for me. Like after a 3 hour power nap, I'm completely refreshed.
yeah, but that being said, I've napped at every single work engagement I've ever had. Like every single one of them, I napped at least on one occasion. Okay,
Okay.
because I was tired and I couldn't stand it, and I just had to nap. And periods, sue me. But there was one occasion where it was actually my fault, just as it was
Okay.
yours at this particular. I've freelanced a lot as well,
Yeah.
and like I remember the beginning of my career, I worked a
Okay.
full time job and freelanced every single day. My average a work day was like 10 to 12 hours, like average, like
Okay.
seriously,
Oh wow.
not including weekends, but I would work on Saturdays. And I was young, capable, and I wanted to learn quickly. And it turned out to
Okay.
be a very good, career choice for me because I've also, had substantial progress very fast, and it didn't influence me at all. What did happen was obviously there was some sacrifices to my social life
Okay.
because I worked so hard. And when I would actually do something about it, like go out and stuff like that. And especially when you're younger, not married and all, you can go out for hours. it's
Yeah.
not it's not be back in 2 hours or dot dot dot. Um, and this one time I decided to have a sleepless night, like an all nighter,
Yeah.
with friends, and then not sleep at all. the
Okay.
the and the previous time I did that was at the time, maybe anywhere between, I don't know, 7 or 10 years ago. I don't know, something
Okay.
like that, right? Like at least 7 years, or 10, probably 10 years. When you were like a teenager, like seriously, honestly, honest to God, I could go 2 nights in a row without any sleep.
Oh,
Par-
congrats.
Partying, like I was a part of Boy Scouts, and just so we're clear, Americans, Boy Scouts in America and Boy Scouts in Serbia, those are two different things.
Okay.
Boy Scouts in America are this, at least the way they're perceived because of television, are these like stuck up, going on camping, learning
Yeah.
things, boys. No, in Serbia, this is consuming shit tons of alcohol, running around doing nasty things, kind of boys.
Naked.
No
Uh,
orgies. Well,
uh,
maybe orgies, but I wasn't aware of that.
yay,
Anyways,
nay.
it was just the perfect friendship uh, kind of thing back in the day. But
Okay.
we were teenagers, so I had assumed that, there was a lot of alcohol and whatnot. And I remember we would literally stay up for 2 nights. We would drink alcohol. We would play basketball at like 4 a.m. Like real
Uh,
basketball, like two baskets across the court, at like 3 or 4 a.m. on the second sleepless night. Like it was ridiculous. Like, man, it was ridiculous. But I like in my brain, what kind of stuck was you can go one night without sleeping. Like, don't worry about it. So so
oh man.
here I am working basically 12 to 14 hours every day. I decide to
Okay.
go out and have a sleepless night. And I regularly go to work in the morning. Look,
Okay.
at the beginning, like I had a lot of adrenaline, so I was like, I'm so doing this, right.
Okay.
Back at that time, I was like a contractor for a company, meaning the company I worked with basically rented me to another company as a consultant.
Okay.
So I had a bit more freedom than you would expect when you're working like a full-time job in an office, right? I just,
Okay.
as a contractor, I just had a bit of a leeway in things, a bit
Yeah.
more control over when and what and how, and
Yeah.
uh, if I'm even gonna be there. And it all started very well, but then I felt it. Like I felt this feeling, I'm just gonna close my eyes and just shut down.
Okay.
So my first thought was, obviously, I need to get some sleep. And the company to which I was rented, like, has zero capacity for something like that. It's a very corporate environment, stuck up,
Yeah.
kind of, building with key card access thing. It's very, very, no way you're gonna nap there,
Okay.
kind of a setting.
Okay.
So I go out, I unpark my car, and I drive to this abandoned parking lot. Uh, and I park, and I try to I fall asleep. I wake up
All
maybe 1.5 hours later
Okay.
because somebody was driving past, looking into what the hell is this guy doing. And I was like, okay, I had like an hour and a half sleep. I can go back to work. And I drive back to work. I was like, sorry, I had, had some unforeseen, things pop up. I had to take care of them, and I went to grab lunch. That was like my excuse or something. I went for an early lunch.
right.
and and I start working, but nothing's working out. Like I'm looking at my computer, and it's all fuzzy, and I'm not making any progress. I'm being very not responsive with colleagues. And it was like
Okay.
it was four of us in a small office back then, four contractors who
Uh,
would share that office, working on different projects.
yeah.
And at one point, I feel like, okay, I'm gonna go just wash my face, with cold water. And I feel like I could do a number two. So
Okay.
I walk in, I lock myself, and that's the last thing I remember before waking up. to somebody flushing,
Oh,
before waking up to somebody flushing. I
oh
slept.
no.
I slept for like hours in there, right? Without having the slightest clue as to where exactly I am, right? You know,
Oh man.
like look, you napped in a pristine bathroom. This was a
For
very
like 10 minutes.
10 minutes, by the way.
yeah. I
I
know.
use
You
my
napped. I
Yeah.
said you napped, and I specifically said I slept. Because I lost it, man. Like, you know, I just shut down because you know, I probably, I can just when thinking about it, I feel like, you know, I was alone, I was comfortable, I was behind a locked door, I felt secure, you know, and you know, just sleep just kicked in.
Oh man.
Um, I have no way of explaining what happened when I got back. So I just came clean. Like, guys, I'm sorry, but I just slept 4 hours in the freaking bathroom
I can
because yeah,
imagine their reaction.
can you understand that there was no explaining it because I was already absent for like an hour and 45 minutes,
Yeah.
which it took me to drive to the abandoned parking lot, sleep for an
Yeah.
hour and a half, and go back, and I already used up an excuse.
Oh man.
So yeah, my
But it went,
anecdote.
but it all went well.
Yeah, it did.
You know, they say that a good night's sleep is a gift from God, and the older I am, oh man, isn't that true? I think we've discussed mosquitoes recently,
Yep.
especially with me turning a sadist towards mosquitoes because not only not only do I not sleep because of content churning, but also every night there is one of them hovering above my head, not letting me sleep. I literally go out of my way to kill each one of them, and they have been a major contribution in my sleep deprivation. It's just insane. But luckily, they're slowly, you know.
But you don't have kids.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You can use chemicals,
Yeah. No,
or
not only that,
you can
but
burn them with the deodorant and a lighter,
uh,
which I've
we've
explained.
discussed this.
we've discussed this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean, you have options, man. Well, you can't complain
No, no,
about
no. But
mosquitoes.
not.
Yeah, yeah. But not only that, but kids are also a major contribution in sleep deprivation. You know?
You know, I was like, I hate going there,
Okay.
simply because I don't want to, you know, deter people from having kids.
Oh,
But
no, no. Yeah.
in reality, every single thing that's wrong with the kid, what you lose immediately, if you don't lose your patience, you lose sleep.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and for example, for me specifically, like these days, my older daughter was a bit ill,
Okay.
and she had this, you know, some number of months ago. I'm gonna say maybe 6 or 7 months ago. She had
Okay.
high fever, and she had what is referred to as febrile or febrile. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Contractions, and it's so she literally went into a shock, and it was the worst.
Oh.
It was the worst possible thing I've ever witnessed, and the worst possible thing that has happened to me
Oh,
ever.
absolutely. I can imagine. I can
But
imagine.
she practically looked like she was dying. Fortunately,
Oh, man.
you know, partially thanks to me, but 99% thanks to my wife, who kept her cool,
Yeah.
and dealt with the situation very very well. Because there's a thing you can do. There's a medicine you can use to deal with that, which
Yeah.
we actually, you know, for some reason bought and had in our fridge. Um, she took care of the situation and we went through it, but unfortunately because of that, now we have to, you know, even when she gets the smallest possible fever, we need to make sure we medicate and
Oh,
prevent
yeah.
it, because her brain is still developing
Yeah. Yeah.
the ability to deal with sudden rises in body temperature or
Oh
sudden
yeah.
drops, and we have to prevent that. So if she would get sick,
Yeah.
we literally have to monitor her body temperature like on every 30 minutes,
Yeah.
and that's excruciatingly. It's just very hard. Let's put it like
Yeah.
that, because you can't really sleep, and she can be grumpy, and she can have trouble sleeping, and for some
Yeah.
reason, my kid, she never she just pushes the blanket, man, every single night for 100 times, and
Yeah.
we're struggling to make sure she has her blanket, because she's getting sick. It's
Mhm.
cold, and that's huge reason for sleep deprivation that I'm going through recently.
Yeah.
We also have a baby that is still being breastfed. She's
Uh,
constantly waking up, and that kind of waking up, you kind of get used to it, right?
yeah.
But there's a huge difference, and look, women, whole new level of respect ever since we got our first child
Oh yeah.
2.5 years ago. Like,
Yeah.
whole new level of respect, because there's difference. When the
Yeah.
baby wakes up, I will wake up, and my role would be to, for example, wake up my wife
Yeah.
if she is not already awake. But
Yeah.
she's the one who's gonna stand up, get out of bed, grab the kid, and breastfeed her, and I can just go back to sleep. So that is a huge difference, right? You can see
Yeah.
the difference there. But when it comes to the older kid having her own problems and stuff, dude, you have to get out of bed every time for a number of times in during the night. So I'm basically, because of that, and the fact the weather is ridiculous right now, I'm
Yeah.
literally the grumpiest grumpy cat you've ever seen for the past week.
That is why I won't see you for quite some time now.
No, that's not it. It's because I don't have the time. Because if I had the time, like, I would just I don't know, pick you up after church or something.
Oh yeah. We always have Saturday. Saturday is quickly turning into my favorite day because it is so carefree.
I made some changes actually.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, I won't, talk about it too much, but
Okay.
at one point, um, I kind of drew a line
Okay.
and decided to, discipline myself more. And
Okay.
I'm definitely on route of doing this.
Okay.
There's things where I've succeeded. There's things where I haven't succeeded. The
Okay.
the first the first thing that I succeeded, able to limit how much I'm going to work,
Okay.
in order for me to be able to spend more time with the family, which
Yeah.
also, actually, for me, that literally means dedicating a time during the day to spend with the family,
Oh yeah.
uh, and putting it in the calendar, and doing my best, not to screw it up. I've disciplined myself to take the kid to daycare,
Yeah.
pick her up from daycare every time I'm able to, and that the rest of the plan also included, for example, prayer rule,
Yeah.
reading books, and I still haven't really taken care of that fully the way I want to. But what I did, I obviously changed the way I eat, and I took care of my excessive weight completely, which means my knees are no longer hurting.
Oh yeah.
So I was able to go back to practice. So
Yeah.
two
Train.
times, yeah, to train 2 times per week. I'm back to my martial arts training, which is a blessing,
Yeah.
because for somebody who's like computer rat, waggling away, in front of a computer, sitting down for the entire day. doing that is a I don't know, it's life saving.
Oh yeah.
And this is the reason why I measure this is how I measure success in creating that discipline. And one of the things, the reason why I started talking about that is recently I've, previously I had this rule, like I'm not working on Sundays. That also included big holidays.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna work on Christmas. I'm not gonna work on Easter. You know, if
Yeah.
if I'm gonna work, that's gonna be maybe answering my phone if there's a freaking forest fire at work. And like really, and I've respected that, and I love the fact that I can respect that. But recently, I've also included Saturday, and decided to pronounce weekends family days. Like I'm gonna spend time with family, no matter what. And even though I completely failed at replacing Netflix with books,
Okay.
uh, completely failed replacing YouTubing myself into sleep instead of reading myself into sleep, without achieving what I want to achieve with prayer rule
Yeah.
and reading the Holy Scripture and stuff like that. I think I've succeeded a lot,
Oh yeah. It
and
is a huge change for the better.
oh, it is, man, and I feel it with every inch of my soul. I feel it, and I obviously have a long way to go because none of the things I've mentioned, which I've obviously failed, are in any way less important than anything else that I have succeeded. Yeah. So sorry about you know taking the time to explain that, but we're not going to be doing it on Saturday.
No, actually, okay. When did you make this, October resolution?
It's not an October resolution.
I know it's
It's
not. I just didn't know which month.
August. During the month of August,
Okay.
I started ruthlessly. Well, no. Well, yeah, this particular resolution, if I may say so, was August.
Yeah.
But I've started ruthlessly executing this discipline myself strategy. Some number of months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing is, literally, like maybe less than a week ago, I decided, literally, okay, enough of time wasting. I maybe we should make a separate video, a separate podcast on this one. But I said to myself, okay, enough of wasting time. It is time to reform my life. I went to confession after literally not going to confession for a year. Honestly, best decision ever, because I believe that act combined with communion gave me such wings, because I managed to stick to it, because I wouldn't be able to do it on my own, but by the grace of God, literally, in the most literal sense.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I am trying as hard as I can not to waste any time. I'm either working, drawing, writing, recording, or I'm with other people or working out, something like that. I'm doing something that I consider productive or useful or beautiful, So
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm listening or sort of watching a YouTube video, I'm doing that while I'm drawing. So I'm sort of doing it both ways. And
Nice one. I do the same thing. I'll tell you later.
okay. Um, you can tell it right now, because I have finished, but maybe we can make a separate episode on restarting your life. I think that will be a rather neat one. So go on with what you
Yeah,
wanted to say.
sure. I'm not sure how you do these things, but
Okay.
this might be a bit of a what we refer to as professional deformation, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
basically a lot of my
Hmm.
daily work is managing
Yeah.
processes, projects, people, and I'm kind of a my forte is actually organization. So
Yeah.
when I approach this, my tool was basically pen and paper. Well, not real pen and real paper, because I've switched to iPad and Apple Pen, whatever. And I've been using that for a while, and it's been great. I would write down
Okay.
what I like, what I don't like, and then I would map out hours in a day. Then I would try to map what I'm doing currently into this, uh, map, basically this template, this time template. And the first thing that happens, and I warmly recommend this approach to everybody, because the first thing that happens when you uh, record your current state of things is you see how much time you lose on nothing. Like you really like visually see it. Like and you have to say to yourself, "Oh my God, this is ridiculous. I'm stupid." Like that's everybody's reaction would be like that. And I promise you that.
I call that making the inventory. Like, what
Yeah,
do you have? What do you want to do? What do you like? What do you dislike? What you want? What you have to do, and so on. And useless things that you want. Sadly, I know that we are all video game fans, but very often video games are usually the first thing that has to go. Sadly, sadly.
yeah. I'll. That's actually what I wanted to refer to just a couple of moments ago. Just wanted to wrap this up. My next step was to create the most optimistic plan as to how I want to do my day. Okay,
Yeah.
which was an impossible plan, and then I fine tuned and fine tuned and fine tuned until I got something that makes sense. And then my next step was basically to sync with my wife about it. And when I started implementing it,
Yeah.
obviously it took some more fine tuning, but that's how things work.
Yeah.
And you have so many different tools at your disposal: pen and paper, your calendar on your smartphone, tablet, computer, whatever. Calendar is like it's the top. It's like notebook and a calendar are two top productivity tools one can use. Um, so whenever I'm listening to something, okay,
Yeah.
I need to listen to a professional podcast or a report from an event, stuff like that. I need to do this for business
Yeah.
specifically, as well as I need to do it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the only time when I would allow myself to basically take my tablet and play a game.
Yeah.
Because I can't, because the games I would play, there's only one. It's a brain. You can play it with like 10% of brain,
Oh yeah, I know.
and
I know this. You can
and I've
play.
yeah, absolutely, and I've tried that and it works. I'm not sure if it's gonna work in the long run, but for now it works. If I'm waiting for, and my the, the reason why I can do it is I found uh, I discovered I can install Minecraft on my iPad, and I can actually play it. It took some time
How
getting used
happy
to.
you were! How happy you were!
Well, if I was able to install Heroes of Might and Magic,
Oh no,
that
no!
that would have been the end.
Don't go down that route.
Yeah, would have been the end. But anyways, that's how I do it. I really don't have the time to play games. But if I'm waiting on a call for somebody for a meeting or something, I would take it out and play for a couple of minutes, and it would be enough. It would be enough. The only thing I regret is not being able to do it in the bathroom, because it's just not cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I think we have a terrific subject matter for the next episode. Going
yeah.
into detail on our productivity,
In the bathroom.
among other places.
Just kidding. But yeah, maybe we can even give some good advice. I don't know. I remember a lot of colleagues saying something like, when they would see the way I organize my to-do list and calendar and stuff like that, they would be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, life goals to have a calendar like you," you know. So, and not everybody can do it like that, and not everybody should do it like that.
Oh yeah.
So, especially creatives, it's a
Oh,
specific special sort of people. Um, but anyways, B, I want to personally thank you for spending time you could have spent sleeping, talking
my,
to me, and I appreciate you, and for especially for sharing your nappy talks, nappy anecdotes.
oh man, that was
I
so
I
bad.
wish you I wish you a brilliant fat sleep, and
Thank you.
talk to you in the next one.
You too, and good night.
And like, share, subscribe, hit that button. Don't sleep.
At work, because I'm a hypocrite, and send us voicemail at our main site, which is churchmouse.show.
Dot show.
Nice
slash
save there. Nice save
slash
there.
slash community.
Bye.